Hey yo, I grew up in the hood, and reptiles is what I do. Instead of getting in trouble and hanging out with them snakes on the street, I caught snakes and listened to hip hop. Welcome to my world, where hip hop joins wildlife. I'm the hip hop naturalist. On today's show, we're back in Florida, and this time we're catching gators. What? With alligator expert Jack Shearley. And we continue our conversation with hip hop legend, icon, Doug E. Fresh. So ride with me. We ride or die. It's the hip hop naturalist. So I'm here with Dougie Fresh, the man. But look, let me tell you basically why we're doing this show. We're trying to show that there's a real problem in the Everglades. They have invasive Burmese pythons that don't belong there that can get up to 20, 22 feet. And they're eating everything. In fact, we're trying to find out who's the top predator and who's winning this war. So from everything that we studied, the alligators are losing this war and they're trying to keep the pythons out of Miami proper. So let's go and look and see how this is gonna go. Let's go and see what it's like to catch a real alligator. So when we go out today, what's the biggest you've seen out there on the water? Like 13, 14 foot?
The biggest gator I've probably ever seen down here, Big Cyber Swamp's about 13 feet, and he's actually been showing up on the river here this last month. For the most part, down here in the preserve, it's a refuge for gators. They don't allow any alligator hunting, everything's protected.
Unless a gator bit a human.
That's the bad part. A lot of times when alligators attack people, it's because the people are making bad decisions,
But the gator
not the
pays the
alligators,
ultimate
but the
price.
gator pays the price.
That's ultimate, man. We're gonna attempt to capture this. This is not in the Everglades. This is private property, so we want you to know that. He's heavy.
Bring him up.
Watch your leg.
We're good.
All right. Watch your leg, Jack.
We're good.
8 to 9 foot gator. You cannot catch these reptiles in Everglades Park. They are protected species. This is for purposes of showing you how massive these guys are. And he was very difficult to pull out of that water by myself. I couldn't do it. My man Jack had to help me. So Jack, I'm about to jump him. Man, he's strong. I can feel the tension in his. Good gracious, he's strong, man. We just jumped him. Now he's going to show the proper way of grabbing this. And the reason this may look easy, but it's not, because he's very strong. They have tremendous power to crush, but you can hold their mouth shut with your bare hands. The problem is they go into a death roll, and no human being, unless you were like Superman or Shaquille O'Neal, is strong enough to stop this thing from rolling. And once they get loose, that's when they bite you.
Hold him there. Okay, he's all yours.
Hip hop naturalist, little help from the professionals. This is my first live alligator catch, and he is tremendously strong. And I used to own a 5-footer, and he was strong, but this is amazing. I can't tell you how strong this fella is.
It's an awesome animal. I mean, you're talking well over 100 pounds.
Well over 100 pounds.
But that's a lot more than 100 pounds worth of strength there, pulling them up the bank, right?
The resistance is what I felt.
These guys are almost all muscle.
All muscle. So this is an example of what's in the Everglades, Big Cypress Swamp, where we were. These are in there all day, all night.
This right here is American alligator.
American alligator.
You got two types of alligators in the world: Chinese alligator, American alligator, that are found over in this region. Right. This is the one we have here in the States. Your females grow up to about 8 feet. Male gators get up to about 12, 13 feet. They've been found even bigger some places. But down here, that'd be a really big alligator. This is a fair-sized gator right here. This is a little bit bigger than I was expecting you to get into.
Stronger than hell. Now look, a lot of people probably looking at this, and they said, well, that looks like a croc and alligator, but I can tell you there's a difference. The main difference between gators and crocs are Gators have a wide, rounded U-shaped snout, whereas Crocs have a long, pointed V-shaped snout. Gators can also exert more strength in a bite. Gators have a wide upper jaw which covers their teeth when the jaws are closed. Upper and lower jaws are the same on a Croc, thus exposing their teeth when their mouths are shut. And gators also tend to be a little bit more friendlier than crocodilians, but I wouldn't advise you to go test that theory out. Now just think, less than 50 years ago, these beautiful animals were almost extinct, but we brought them back. So we do something right as human beings, but that's why Jack and I were saying how very important it is to protect these precious ecosystems, because when your ecosystems start to go, then your habitat start to go. It's a matter of time before it'll affect humans. This is beautiful. I don't want to tie this fella out too much. So I'm going to let this guy go. I'm going to turn him back over to the Townsend brothers. They took me out on this tour. It's freaking great. This has been an adventure of a lifetime. You can do anything you want to do. And don't catch his teeth.
Yep.
Hip Hop Naturalist.
Give him a hand, Kevin. Back him down in the water.
10-foot gator, freaking beautiful. What you think, man? Is he nuts, man? You know, I ain't messing with no alligators.
Oh, come on, man. Look, closest I'm getting to the alligators,
Some shoes.
You know, I've been doing hip hop for such a long time.
You're a pioneer.
Yeah, a lot of different generations have a certain level of respect for me because they know I got respect for them. Right. You know, I never played a position of just because I've been doing this a long time, you gotta respect me. No, the respect has to flow both ways. Right. So when I seen somebody doing something that wasn't right to Tupac, I would step in and I would be like, yo, y'all crazy. And now but Tupac didn't want me to step in. He wanted to handle it himself.
A lot of us are like that, you know, we think we know everything.
Right.
So let me ask you, do you think these guys were truly friends or they were victims of the industry? I mean, I know after, you know, the studio shooting in Cross Studios in New York,
right.
I mean, you know, Pac always playing Biggie and Bad Boy and never got over it. Give me a little insight on that, if you know.
Well, I think that if I was to be completely honest about it, I would say that they were both victims of circumstances, and it was a manipulator involved in the situation. And I think Pac knew more of who actually did what than he was saying who did it. This thing between them, I think that if there was nobody in the middle, and if there was no money in the middle, and no trying to control them in the middle, I think they would have been the best of friends, and we wouldn't even be talking about them today. We'd just be dancing to their music.